Good morning. Much like an uncomfortable itch, I am back, and today we are playing some Rogue Trader. This is my second time trying to record, as the first time I swore within the first 10 seconds, and then immediately ADHD took over, and I undid all of my progress making a character. So we're going to start this from the beginning again. I'm playing Rogue Trader because I really like the setting, and this is a fun game in that setting. Plus, it's a lot more exciting to watch than RimWorld. I love RimWorld. It's such a good game to play, but it's kind of boring to watch. Especially if you do it the way I do it, which is like, hey, I'm going to go watch something in the background while this runs. Alright, anyway. We're going to be building our character. I'm not sure how I want to make him or her look. She looks so happy. She's so happy. Look at her. Look, she's even happier. Okay, you know what? Yep, no. And she is going to come from a... Okay, let's see. Never stop shooting. Nope, we're going to be making shooting here. Combat addict, though. Imperial world, ready to serve. Forge world, forge for a purpose. I kind of like that, actually. If I set up as the forge. This could be a hive world. Fellowship, agility, camaraderie. Orange, nope, I don't want that. Void Warning is fortune. Yep, there we go. And she is going to be Astro Military Commander. What do they get out of this? Suppressing fire, nah. What do I get out of this? Duty and honor, show them contempt, crime lord. Killing plan, escape plan contingency, Historian priest. There's a no. We're gonna go Navy officer. That way we can do a lot of movement shenanigans. Actually, what does Noble get me? You do something, you protect me, you kill it, you go on, you are next. Oh, that's so good. Do not falter. Let's nope, Sacred is not what I want. Or it could be actually. Divination, psychic power, force reality, blade of light. Okay, I got an idea. We're gonna go telepath, aftershock mind, Santic, nope, because for reasons. Pyromancer diviner, eh? Foreboding. Fatebringer. Oh, okay, yeah, we're gonna do that. Okay, I got a plan. Apex of Brilliance. Upon solving the mystery of a powerful cyclically active Xeno artifact, you manage to destroy the creation of countless enemies of humanity. Interesting. Illustrious Glory. You single-handedly saved a pilgrim ship by stopping a warp breach while traveling through the Immaterium. Or Feat of Greatness. The power of your sorcery crushed a demon of the archenemy and drove it back into the warp. I do like illustrious. Ooh. Yeah, no. She seems just so happy. She's like, oh yeah, this place is awful, but I'm having a great time. Alright, Grim Potent. You're accused of being possessed by a warp entity and forced into exile, leaving your soul forever scarred. Your sorcery caused a warp manifestation aboard a void ship, claiming thousands of lives in the end. Ha, sucker. An error during the sanctioning process brought you many hours of agony, which nearly cost you your life. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna do that. Okay, and we're gonna make her a blade dancer, because that's just how we're gonna do things. Alright. Alright, and then we're gonna look at our skills. I'm gonna raise your weapon skill, yep. Raise your strength up 1. Toughness up 1. Agility 1. Yep, you have to raise up your will. Okay, yeah, cool. We can do Firestorm class frigate, eh? The fires of righteousness. There we go. That's a pretty good game name. Yeah. Davina, we're gonna call her, that's a really good question, actually. Edit name. Happi. There we go. She's gonna be the friendliest, member of the Imperium you'll ever reach. Yep, we're just gonna go for the friendliest options. I was gonna do it initially like a heresy, or not heresy. What's the opposite of heresy? Wow, my words are not working today, guys. I like soup. Faithful. I was gonna do a faithful run, but we'll see how this character goes. We'll see how Happi speaks to me as a player, which I feel is a lot more on brand to how I play things.
An excellent place for contemplation. One has the best view of the cathedral from here. Mesmerizing, wouldn't you say? An impeccable manifestation of the God Emperor's sublimity.
Alright, so we're going to do some reading real quick. Choices and dialogues. You are in a dialogue. Here you can learn more about current events, influence the character you are speaking to, or even alter the course of the game's narrative. Your character's personal story depends on the dialogue choices you make. Available dialogue options are displayed on the right. Select a reply by clicking the left mouse button on it, or pressing the corresponding digit on your keyboard. Alright. I'm just going to keep putting these tutorials out just in case you're interested in playing this game. It's really good. I recommend it. Alright, so our options are truly an awe-inspiring sight. Frankly, such success can be tiring at times. All this ostentatious luxury, this laughable pretense, it is enough to make one think that the architects meant to compensate rather than glorify. Have we met? Do you have a particular reason for disturbing me? You know what? I think Happi. You know what? She's gonna go with a truly awe-inspiring sight. She likes pretty things.
That is the purpose of all temples to the God Emperor, to inspire awe and reverence. For it is the duty of his servants to persevere in their tireless service until they are presented with the chance to give their very life for the master of humanity.
Continue.
Allow me to introduce myself. Conrad Voigtveer, Master of Whispers, in the employ of Her Ladyship rogue trader Theodora von Valencias. At your service. I haven't had the pleasure of speaking with you in person before.
Okay, we're going to learn about hyperlinks today, kids. Hyperlinks. You can hover your cursor over highlighted words to learn more about them. The tooltips that appear can help you better understand the world of the game or its mechanics. Words are highlighted when they first appear in a text. Scroll up the dialog box to see the desired highlighted term again. Alright, so we got some highlighted words. We have Rogue Trader. The subject of the Imperium with a unique hereditary title. A rogue trader is tasked with exploring and exploiting the still uncharted regions of the galaxy for the benefit of mankind. Beautiful. Just gonna go fix the problem real quick. Might edit this out in post. I won't. I'm gonna forget. I like these headphones. They just keep powering up. All right. So, my name is Happi. And so, as to avoid any misunderstandings, I am a sanctioned psyker. I have no intention of introducing myself. So, in the world of 40k, people occasionally will just have psychic powers, which connects them to a plane called the Warp. The Warp is the manifestation of all of man's dreams and desires and all that. Which, unfortunately, due to some incidents involving some space frogs and some metal skeletons, is kind of messed up at the moment. Psykers have the chance of summoning literal demons from hell. And so they're really looked on highly in the Imperium. They usually get murdered in a very beneficial way, which I won't spoil. So the fact that Happi here is a sanctioned psyker means that she's allowed to just do psyker things. And people are okay with it, more or less. So we're going to go with that option. My name is Happi, and as to avoid any misunderstandings, I'm a sanctioned psyker.
I am aware of that fact. It would have been unacceptable negligence to have overlooked such a detail when compiling your profile. Fate bestowed upon you powers of witchcraft, and a duty to use them for the good of the Imperium. Yours is truly an unenviable lot.
Alright.
I will be frank with you. You may forget your past titles, no matter who gave them to you, or what their origins are. From the moment you and the other candidate were brought aboard this void ship, your fate changed. You now serve Lord Captain Theodora von Valencias, and carry the burden of an heir of this house. Henceforth, you share your dynastic name with her ladyship. Bear it with honor.
Alright, got it. Lord Captain, a strange title for Lady Theodora. Why am I aboard this vessel? Why have I been brought here? Well, he just explained it. You have a curious title, Master of Whispers. What are your responsibilities? Tell me about the one whose ship I have found myself. You say I'm one of the rogue trader's heirs. So there's another one? I am certain you had some goal in mind when you decided to seek me out. Let us address it. You know what? Happy's gonna ask why. She's...
So that you may fulfill your blood duty. Whatever obligations you had before, they are henceforth null and void. By order of the Lord Captain, you have been requisitioned to serve the rogue trader, indeed blessed by the God Emperor. Your former position may have been different from conventional service as part of one of the institutions of the Imperium, but from now on, a different fate awaits you. One chosen for you by the Lord Captain. I advise you to come to terms with this reality as quickly as possible.
Tell me about the one on whose ship I've found myself.
I would rather not discuss the Lord Captain behind her back, especially not on board her ship. No one knows better than I that whispers are wont to attract particularly close attention. Suffice it to say that her ladyship is the bearer of the sacred warrant of trade and a woman of immense power and entitlement. However privileged your position may be, I ask that you do not incur her anger by being disrespectful or obtuse. Lady Theodora despises both qualities.
Alright, let's see what the word in the trade. The sacred relic document that affirms that the preeminent rights of a rogue trader throughout the galaxy. They will probably explain this later. So we should know Lord Captain. That means that she's in charge of this whole ship, probably. Master of Whispers. I mean, he seems like a very to the point man, and I don't want to waste his time. So, I assume you had some goal in mind when you decided to seek me out. Let us address it.
But of course, I have come to invite you to a meeting with Lady Theodora. I imagine you have many questions for your patroness, and I'm sure she has just as many questions for you. It is regrettable that you haven't yet had an opportunity to speak. It has been an arduous voyage thus far. The Lord Captain and Master Ethelthred von Valencias are conversing on the observation platform. Let us join them there.
Alright. Yep, we're gonna follow your lead, buddy. And in case you're wondering, this is all not a city, this is actually a ship. But I suspect you already knew that. Oh, wait. Some objects in the game can be interacted with in a special way. They are marked with specific icons. Some icons allow you to study objects, others will transfer the character to neighboring locations, or launch a small event. These icons become visible when your character is standing close enough to the interactive object. Click less Wow. Click left mouse button on the icon to perform the associated action. Some interactive objects, such as doors or chests, are not always marked with icons, but the cursor changes when you hover over them. Hover your cursor over the object. If the cursor changes, the object is interactable. Hold tab to highlight objects your character can interact with. We'll be doing that every room. Why? Because I have the observation skills of a dead chinchilla some days. A massive conference table, obviously crafted from real wood, a resource of incredible value aboard a void ship. We have crew officer. I heard the study show gave the senior officers another public dressing down recently. I don't know what it was for this time, but we're Restian would latch onto any slip-ups as an excuse to give someone an earful. Yeah, he seems like a good guy. Have you heard? Apparently the lower decks got an influx of new blood after the last on-world resupply. Is there some pestilence spreading through the crew, and that's why we had to make up the shortfall? Last time it was blue leprosy that culled our ranks. Oh, that sounds lovely. I heard the central... Okay, yep. Mercenary Stewart. Greetings, my lady. Aw, this is the first guy to actually be respectful. If I see you raise your head again, I'll hand you over to the tech priest for servitization. Oh. The crew member is hard at work, bowing his head in fear and avoiding even looking at you. Well, he's doing his job. Lay people interfering in the operations of sacred mechanicisms disturbs machine spirits. In the name of the homicide, refrain from any further profane acts. Okay, well, I'm so sorry for being interested in you. I bet I'll say the same thing. Yep. Engine seer. A text landing for the machine plus AD is required. Vox casting to initiate the consecration of unguent and the preparation of technomants. Ooh, technomant. Okay, well. Come on, let me talk to you. No? Okay. Show that on the vid screen. The sacred mechanism has been interfered with without due reverence. The duration of the data processing cycle has tripled. Ooh, no, that's not good. Incomprehensible information is displayed on a large screen above the cogitators. You can make out references to unfamiliar systems and words along with the numbers and, wow, logistic car symbols. Okay, that's annoying, but whatever. Crew officers, I bet they're probably going to complain about that. Yep, blue leprosy again. Blue leprosy again. The warp jump was surprisingly uneventful. The one a couple of cycles ago, no, that was tough. The delirium took hold of some May, and the witch was up to her old tricks again. Ooh, there's a witch. Okay, cool. Ooh, a noble guest. Hello, noble. How long do we have to wait for an audience? How many days has it been already? Okay, yeah, stop complaining, guys. Worker. You hear stuttering words of a prayer to the God Emperor. Okay. Oh, noble guest. May his will strengthen my heart. May my humble deeds be for the benefit of humanity. A candlelit altar with a copy of the 234th volume of the Lex Imperialis, the Codex of Sacred Laws of the Imperium. Okay, you know what? You guys all suck except for this lady right here. She is a proper member of the Imperial Inquisition, I guess? Oh, no, not Inquisition. Okay, yep, he's working hard. Let's hit tab, see if there's anything I've missed. Nope, it looks like we have looked at everything we can. Annoyed all the technomats, which will be my new job in life. Oh, there's a servitor over here. Let's go talk to him. No. As you approach, something in the servitor's body begins to hum, as if in response to your presence. After a couple of seconds, the noise subsides. Aw, he was happy to see me. I just can imagine it was like a kitty purring. I hate when the servitors go berserk. You have been ambushed. The battle begins. Start the battle. To survive in the grim darkness of the far future, you will have to face enemies of all kinds and fight for your life. These hints and tutorials will familiarize you with the combat systems of Warhammer 40k, Rogue Trader. Clear the bottom of the Click the button at the top of the screen to start the battle. Okay, yep, cool. Complete. I've been ambushed. The fight begins. I don't have enough time. Happy. Shooter, don't let them get close. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. Let's see if these guys actually do their job. Ooh. Ouch. All battles in the game are turn-based and take place on a grid. On the turn, a character can move, attack, and use their abilities. Select a cell with the highlighted area and double-click left mouse button on it to move the character there. Well, movement points determine how far a character can move on their turn. 1 MP corresponds to 1 cell on the battlefield. Moving diagonally is more costly. Every second diagonal spell uses 2 MP. At the beginning of each turn, movement points are restored to their maximum value. Note that once a character starts moving, this action can no longer be cancelled. Okay, that's cool. What's the range of my gun? Just asking for a friend. That friend being myself. Okay. Forewarning, the second increases the target's dodge chance impaired by +6 until the end of combat. I'm gonna do that to this guy. And I'm gonna shoot this thing in the face. Alright, and that will end my turn. Do I click? When you're ready to end your turn, press space or click the end turn button on the bottom right of the screen. Got it. Okay, we're just gonna click space. This was good for the guy I buffed. I still might do it. I was analyzing our enemies. Neat. I just gotta do this to myself.
Not a problem for me.
I can. Heck yeah. And because I've done that, I can't move. But he's gonna walk over to that crew officer and kill him, I suspect. Or failed to kill him because I buffed him. Nope, he killed him. What did the God Emperor do? Probably not this. To make actions and use abilities of contact, the character must spend action points or AP. The total is displayed on the panel at the bottom of the screen. Every attack or ability has a certain AP cost associated with it. The number of squares next to the icon of attack actions and other abilities indicates their AP cost. At the start of each character's turn, their AP is restored to the maximum value. To attack, first click left mouse button on the single shot icon on the weapon panel at the bottom of the screen. Hover the cursor over an enemy. A tooltip will appear showing your chances of hitting the enemy and the possible damage you can deal on a successful hit. Click left mouse button on the enemy to fire. The amount of damage your character deals depends on the parameters of the weapon they are using. The effectiveness of the shot depending on the distance between the character and their weapon. When you target an enemy with a single shot, you will see 2 areas denoting the weapon's effective and maximum fire ranges. Okay, I think I'm outside my effective. Certain abilities of the game are considered attack actions and can only be used once per turn unless specified by specific talents or other abilities a character might have. If a character performs an attack action, they will not be able to attack again and will lose their remaining movement points until the start of the next turn. Okay, that's cool. We're gonna click this now. As you can see, she can only do that once per turn, and I'm not going to do any more psychic stuff because I don't want to rip open a giant hole in the warp and summon demons. Characters with melee weapons block adjacent enemies' ability. Okay. Sweet.
What suspiciously poor timing for such an accident. Servitors malfunction on the officer's deck at exactly the same moment when the rogue trader and her heirs are gathered here. I have blocked all passages between the upper and lower sectors of the residential decks. If this is a deliberate attack, it should stop the culprits from advancing their plan.
Alright, so attacks now. Characters with melee weapons block adjacent enemies' ability to perform attacks with ranged weapons. Pistols and shotguns are an exception to this rule. Those could be fired at point blank range. Got it. Beautiful. I need to get myself a shotgun. Up and actual trained military personnel.
I'm afraid I must remain here. For Lady Theodora's safety, I have to oversee the execution of these orders personally. I hope you will have no difficulty reaching the observation platform on your own. It is just at the end of this corridor.
Understand dialogue. You can open the map using M to orient yourself. Okay, so let's see what's going on. Okay, so I'm right here. And I guess I need to go right there. Look at her, she's just so happy. You know what? Well, let's look at these corpses. The wires of the servitor's heads are still smoldering. It seemed the cause of malfunction was the short-circuiting of the motive force. Ooh. Tarantula sentry gun constructed with the blessing of the Adeptus Mechanicus using a standard template construct in the manufactorums of Kiava Gamma. That seems nice. Lehman Russ battle tank reclaimed and restored by the grace of the God Emperor, the first to breach the capital walls during the pacification of Fortes Cathon. That seems evil. A violet alloy, which upon closer examination turns out to be a handcrafted object. Symbols carved with a primitive tool are visible on the surface. Oh, neat. A black shard resembling obsidian. If you look closely, you can discern a strange, bare perceptible glow inside the artifact. I wonder if that's blackstone.
None shall stand in my way.
A massive golden amalgam interspersed with sparkling particles. This girl likes her rocks. Holy crud. The stone of the pedestal is no doubt solid, but its surface shimmers and changes hues, as if someone has captured a piece of turbulent sea within the rock. Well, that could only go good, right? A strange object that resembles sea coral. The porous surface is pitted, a sign that it has been underwater. Or, you know. Might not have been underwater, could just be spacing. A gray-green crystal with white veins. A low hum can be heard coming from the artifact. I'm sure the Inquisition would love to see everything here. Yeah, just have a little chit-chat. The exhibit is unfinished. Another symbol of House Von Valensis' valors will be displayed here at some point in the future. Deck Enforcer, Servant. Okay, yeah. These guys are doing their job. I don't think there's anyone else to harass. Well, let's go talk to our patron, I guess?
It's about time.
Upgrade officer. Okay, we've all heard this before. Yep. Lord to the Emissary, giver of knowledge. Ah, good. Finally, someone faithful. Okay, it's all stuff we've heard before.
That is simply irrational, Lady Theodora. Assimilation into the trade structure would be political and economic suicide. Practically an admission of heresy.
Then suggest an alternative that will satisfy me. I have described the situation. No worse than my seneschal could have done. Make a decision. What will you do with Ion 6, Edelthrad?
Alright, so we have options. Survey the room. I'm here to speak with the Lord Captain. Listen in silence. Because we're going to be polite, we're not going to talk to the Lord Captain. We're going to survey the room. The first impression of Edelthrad, who appears to be about 30 years old, is of parchment-like skin stretched over a tightly bundled mass of sinew, implants and bones. The nervously twitching fingers, the face twisted by a slight tic, and the jerky movements are all signs of some illness or defect that has taken over his physical form. Aw, poor guy. In stark contrast to Edelthrad, Theodoro von Valencia's features appear as if they were carved from marble, eternal and indestructible. Head raised high, proud posture, hands clasped casually behind their back, Everything seems to emphasize the difference in status between her and Ethelred. Next to the two of them, you see two men. One is a gray-haired officer of impeccable bearing who is studying the contents of his data slate. The other is a behemoth bristling with holsters and baldricks containing all manners of weapons. Ooh.
Our second candidate has joined us. Approach and give me your answer. Consider this hypothetical situation. Ion 6. A new world on the fringes of the Coronis expanse. High seismic activity, regular magma eruptions, metamorphic rock deposits, prospects for large-scale mining. The world is populated by natives who worship some heretical underworld spirits that protect those who offer them sacrifices. Flights of fancy, you might say, but attempts to install ore extractors have failed for the second time. The mining crews sent to the planet's surface simply vanished overnight. My question to you is, what would you do with this poisoned treasure?
Alright, so we got some options. Laura Zeno succeeded. Those spirits could well be the native name for dangerous aliens. I would first verify if that is indeed the case, and if the population of Aeon 6 engages in Xeno worship. Okay. Lore Warp succeeded. There are ways to confirm whether what is happening on Aeon 6 is witchcraft or not. It might cost us several cycles to do so, but will give us the answer. I believe I can use my personal abilities to ascertain whether there was sorcery on Aeon 6, but require going down to the surface in person. These reports of spirits certainly sound like the evidence of heresy. However, I would put my interests first, no matter what that means. I would have to use the riches of Aeon 6 would be mine. Aeon 6 must be purged for the good of the Imperium. I shall exterminate the heretical beliefs, in other words, the powers that rule the native apostates. I do not know. I like the lower warp option, though. Just as, like, yeah, I want to know what's going on here.
Thorough, but presumptuous. It took me a great deal to find one psyker who could serve me well for many years. Yet you speak of several.
Sanctioned psychers are rare and valuable instruments of the Golden Throne. Or do you suggest that we use heretics, who are an offense to the God Emperor's light? It would be rather careless of you to utter such profanity in the presence of his faithful servants.
I gave a straight answer to a simple question, which, as I understand, was still more than you could do, Ethelred. We are both servants of the God Emperor and Lady Theodora. Does it become of anyone of our status to engage in petty feuds? I find your tone most disagreeable, Ethelred. You will kindly alter the manner in which you address me, or else you will live to regret the consequences. Shut your mouth, Ethelred, before I decide to shut it for you. I'm going to go with option 2, though, because, again, I'm going to be diplomatic.
Among his flock, not all are of a piece. I suggest you familiarize yourself with that fact before you are sorely...
Ethelred, I believe I gave you an assignment on this ship. Explain to me then why my senior congregator is still dawdling about the officers' deck, instead of proceeding to the middle decks to commence the inspection of the compartments in his purview.
I beg your forgiveness, Lady Theodora. Your presence has such a profound effect on me that I well forgot the time.
So, why are you here?
So I just want to point out, like, she told him to come up and ask him a question. Like, she came up and asked him a question. And then told him to... Yeah, no. The way she handled that was not good leadership skills. But you know what? It's about standard for nobles in the Imperium. Okay, so Happi, why are you here? Was it not you who sent me? There are questions I wish to have answer. I do not know just yet. I hope you would clarify that. There are questions of which I have...
Clarity. A luxury that few of us can afford. There is a reason why I did not explain all the details of the question I posed to you earlier. Beyond the borders of the Imperium, seldom is one granted an opportunity to enjoy information in abundance. This, however, is one such opportunity. My name is Theodora von Valancius Massimo of Scaris. I am a rogue trader in the service of the God Emperor of humanity. And my rights and freedoms are vindicated by a most sacred relic. The warrant of trade, kept aboard this very vessel. Mine is the honor to venture into the darkness, beyond the Imperium, and carry humanity's light where powers wicked and heretical reign, and bow death and ruin to us all.
Alright, let's learn about the God Emperor. The God, the ruler, the higher power to which humanity offers their prayers for aid and deliverance. Most would be driven mad with despair if they knew the truth. Yeah, the God Emperor is kind of in a state of perpetual near death. Or maybe he is dead. Either way, it's not a good time for him.
It is my decision alone to determine the fate of whatever I find past the bounds of the explored void. Every world I discover, along with all there is to find thereon. Resources, people, riches, and mysteries, is mine by right. I command millions of lives, rule over numerous planets, and possess fortunes that no planetary governor or commander could dream of amassing. And you are one of those with von Valancius blood in their veins and a rightful claim to this inheritance when the hour comes.
I'm ready to take on this sacred purpose. It is all too sudden for me. Does this mean that there are other heirs? I think adh-Deer is supposed to be an heir, but I'm ready to take on this sacred purpose.
Oh yes, you would be, wouldn't you? The question is, am I ready to choose you over the rest? You came aboard hours before the warp jump, and have not yet distinguished yourself in any way. As things currently stand, I have doubts that you are suitable for the role of rogue trader.
Wow, lady. So I came aboard your ship. You gave me no instructions, and your first interaction with me was 30 seconds ago, and you're disappointed that I haven't done anything. I'm so sorry that I did not come onto your ship and immediately hunted you down to kiss your... Well, I'm not going to say that word because this is a family-friendly channel of murderous heresy hunters.
Blood right alone is not enough to earn the high honor of becoming the bearer of a warrant of trade. Nonetheless, your abilities and talents may yet prove useful. If not for the role of Lord Captain, then for that of their closest ally. Alas, even those responsibilities can at times be too challenging for those who share your blood. Kunrad Voigtveer served me for many years before he made his mistake.
I don't know about his mistake.
His kinship to me is most distant, as is yours. Nonetheless, he does bear the name von Valancius, even if he avoids using it publicly, and as such, strictly speaking, can be considered my heir. That door, however, is closed to him. Voigtveer's performance in his current role is satisfactory. Or it used to be, at least.
Sorry, I forgot to read out my options. So does this mean there are other heirs? Did I hear you correctly? The Master of Whispers is related to you, which is why I chose. Thank you for clarifying. May I ask my questions now? So it's very clear that there are other heirs, but you know what? I'm just going to click this to figure out what's going on.
Naturally. Some have yet to arrive on board, but you have had the pleasure of meeting one of them. adh-Deer may be somewhat disconcerted by the scale of the responsibilities that may potentially fall upon his shoulders. However, I have a good feeling about him as a candidate.
Yep. There was one basically which is like...
I have some time before the navigator gives the signal to initiate the void ship's translation out of the warp, and my presence is required on the bridge.
Alright, so, yeah, so basically there was like a one big question I could have asked, but it's kind of dumb, so I didn't ask it. I should have read it out. Alright, so navigator translation, what are these things you speak of? Well, we'll just click here. A sanctioned noble mutant whose genes allow them to safely guide a warp-capable void ship through the warp. The warp. An alternate dimension of pure energy and madness existing as a mirror to real space, also known as the Immaterium, the Imperium, the Aether, the Sea of Souls, or warp space. Okay, there's a whole encyclopedia. Okay, cool. So, I'm assuming since side character is a psycho, they should know what navigator and translations are. Basically, navigator is the guy who runs the ship, and translation is when the ship goes into the warp for the uninformed. Alright, so an incident took place on the officer's deck. Some servitors went berserk and attacked the crew. Where is your ship headed? What are my current responsibilities? Gracious Lord Captain, surely there are ways I can prove myself a worthy heir. I have no more questions. Well, we're gonna let her know about the incident.
Is that so? Perhaps the technomats were careless during maintenance. Or it could be the warp playing tricks on us in spite of the Gellerfield. Or perhaps there is something to all the stories about the ship being possessed after all.
Lady Theodora, for the God Emperor's sake, surely you do not intend to start repeating idle rumors spread about by uneducated riffraff.
Enough, Abelard. Such hearsay amuses me. Adh-Deer eagerly retells me everything she learns from the whispers of her unseen advisors. This ship is thousands of years old. It has enough hidden nooks, malfunctioning cogitators, and unused compartments to make ignorant folks speak of specters dwelling inside the bulkheads and plotting against those who yet live.
What are my current responsibilities?
Observe, learn, absorb. It will take time for you to find your bearings aboard this vessel and in your new position. Eventually, I will find a post that suits you as I did for Ethelthrad. Until that time comes, consider yourself my aide.
Gracious Lord Captain, surely there are ways I can prove myself a worthy heir.
You can start by not asking questions of this sort. I have no need for sycophants. I will draw my conclusions when an opportunity to prove yourself arises. As for when you will be granted that opportunity, only the God Emperor knows.
I do not like this lady.
In that case, I shall head to... Disturbances reported on the adjacent decks. Seneschal, if the need arises, protect the new blood. It is possible that the chance to prove your worth may present itself sooner than you may have anticipated.
Yay! Darn it, don't you hate when your meeting gets interrupted by chaos cultists?
Take a knee and bow before me.
Ah, I've been ambushed again. Initiative! All combatants act in turns and their order is determined by an initiative roll. The order of turns is displayed on the bottom, on the left right of the screen, from bottom to top. The character at the very bottom goes first, and the one above them, and so on. Got it. Alright, cool. And we're gonna start the battle. Good instructions. What a beast.
Stay vigilant.
Glory of my master!
To the weak.
Crush the feeble!
Use cover to avoid enemy attacks. Cover that a character can hide behind are marked with a shield or shield with a skull. When standing close to them, the character will automatically take up an advantageous position. In that case, the chance that the enemy attacks will hit the cover and not the character behind them will increase. The character will not receive a bonus if attacked from a side that is not protected by the current cover. Okay, cool. Well, hey, look, guys. Cover. Okay, over there. Yep. Over there. Yep. We're going to cast self-preservation on myself. And then we're going to shoot this person in the mouth.
Suits my purposes. Opposing me was your biggest mistake.
See?
Chaos guides me. Your blood will
No, Mort's been shot.
I've suffered worse. Brace yourself, Pamela.
I want her gun.
Tested tactics are the best ones. One fewer target. Reduced to dust. Weapon at the ready. For the glory of the Imperium.
Can I get into a position? No. Nope, this is the optimal position. I wish I had attack spells, but that's fine. Up. Do I have attack spells? No, I don't. Okay, cool. You know what? I'm gonna give Dodge a chance to Lord Jerkface here, and then he's gonna shoot me in the face, and I'll hate him for it. Oh no, I did not get shot in the face.
Follow my lead. Death to the heretics.
Mort, take a team with you and clear a path to the transport line. Do not let a single whoreson survive.
Positive effect! Your character has received a temporary positive effect from an ally. Such effects enhance your character's capabilities in combat in some way. To learn more about the effect you have gained, hover your cursor over the effects icon next to the character's portrait. Got it. Continue.
Didn't bat an eye when that scum burst onto the deck, huh? Not bad. I have seen many an officer who panicked at the sight of combat on the upper decks. The false sense of security offered by their position makes them that much more vulnerable to the harsh realities of warp travel.
What is happening? What are your orders? I don't need to know what's happening. People came on and tried to kill me, so let's get our orders.
Mort has gone on ahead to clear a path for us. If you want to make yourself useful, go after him and see if the arch-militant requires aid. And be quick about it.
I still do not like this lady. Well, at least she, Abelard checked the latest communication reports for the upper decks. Good luck with that. I think they can't communicate that stuff. Victory does await, yep. Deck Enforcer, they're doing their job. Let's see if there's anything fun to poke. Nope. This is where I'm supposed to go. Up, dead corpse. Woo! The heretic's body is riddled with holes. An imposing single shotgun lies smoking in his hand. Master at arms. Keep fire. The accused traitor shot him in the at point blank range. The Master at arms is not looking good. Oh, that's Master at Jocasta. Sorry, back. Hold on, Master. Just stay with us.
Thank Providence you are alive and well.
Always on time, eh, comrade? The moment we finish chasing the riffraff around the deck, you show up. Always just after the fighting's done. You could set your chrono by it.
Mort, pull yourself together.
What, did the Lord Captain send you to chivvy us along? We're all done here. I'll report right away.
Master of Whispers, what is happening on my ship? The Voxnet is silent. The Vox Master is not responding. Armed assailants have stormed the officer's deck, and my arch-militant just destroyed several more heretics on the way here. Is this a severe case of warp madness? Have some of my crew lost their minds and forgotten who they are and whom they serve? Report!
I have not yet received word from the Engineerium regarding any Gellerfield failures, but communications were already unstable half an hour ago, and now they have ceased altogether. Whatever the cause may be, the consequences are spreading fast. I am receiving scattered reports from the middle decks, and the only voxcasts from the lower bays are one-way heretical gibberish. That the madmen have already reached the officers' deck suggests that this outrage was planned in advance. Perhaps this is an organized mutiny.
Mutiny? But who would attempt a mutiny here in the warp? Heretics. A mutiny against the Emperor's anointed. Execute the traitors, every last one of them. We must provide immediate assistance to those still in on the middle decks. Perhaps then we might stop this wave from spreading. If this is indeed a case of severe warp madness, then the situation is dire. So I know who it is. I'm pretty sure it is a warp madness. You know what? We're going to be tactical about this.
We have to confirm that the bridge and the navigator's sanctum are secure. And I have the means to do both things at once. Ethelthrad, where is he? I must know if he is unharmed. A psyker aboard a ship that is potentially being assailed by the warp could pose a greater threat to himself and others than a whole army of madmen with improvised weapons.
I tried to locate him, but the last thing known about his movements is that he arrived on Transitional Deck 18.
Blast it! Master of Whispers, find Ethelthrad immediately. Seneschal, locate Tlas and the Sister of Battle. Both are to remain at my side. Arch-Militant, with me. I must go to my study. And it appears we might encounter heretics along the way.
If I may, Lord Captain, Transitional Deck 18 is at the heart of the disturbance, and if our goal is to bring Ethelthrad back, I could use some support. After all, I'm not as adept at directly confronting enemies of the House as the esteemed Arch-Militant, and taking into consideration Ethelthrad's psyker powers.
Then it's settled. Find Ethelthrad and bring him here. In whatever state you find him. This elevator leads to restricted compartments such as my personal chambers and the bridge. Do not let me down. I require you both. Do you understand?
Here, okay, in whatever state, what does that mean? Well, obviously, like, you know, kill him if we have to. I hear and obey, Lord Captain. I shall do everything in my power. I cannot promise I won't lose our dearest heir somewhere along the way. I'll do everything in my power.
Not everything in your power. You will do as I say. I'll have your heads if you fail. Is that clear? Then move out. Mort, come.
Yeah, not a fan of her.
Are you ready to head to 18? It is a long walk, and you do not even have proper gear.
I shall make do, lead the way. I have a proposition. Since I'm the more important person here, you can go in the front and shield me from potential threats. That's kind of cowardice and will make me look bad in the eyes of my boss. You had better not fail me. The Lord Captain made it clear that relying on you is fraught with risk. Yeah, I'm not going to let him know that I'm onto his garbage. That he sucks.
Of course you will. Lady Theodora would never have someone she couldn't rely on as one of her heirs. But that is no longer relevant.
What does that mean? Aw, man, I hate when something hits you hard with a sharp crackle and you are consumed by unbearable, gut-wrenching pain. Aw, I'm sleepy. And I'm Anyway, guys, that was the first little bit of this game. I hope you enjoyed it, and next Sunday I will continue with the adventure. We'll figure out what happened to Happi, how hard we're going to shoot this guy in the face, and the ultimate fate of our jerk boss. I will see you all next weekend, and I hope you have a good one. Happy Easter.